I promised a second video, and it's been a little while because Vimeo didn't let me upload the last one that I had, the number 2. It was too long, so I'm gonna zip right through this one so I don't get rejected again. Here is the closet from IKEA, and you saw already the inside that I took out and I tossed upside down. And here's the cover of the one that I dissected. This cover actually can also be repurposed. It is great for storing hay. When I cut my lawn, and you see how nice I cut it just recently, when I cut my lawn and all of the clippings, if they don't go over by the little baby trees or somewhere else as mulch instead of mulch, I put them in here and I can reuse them, and they'll be nice and dry because this thing breathes, and then I can use them for the chickens as bedding. But this is that closet that I showed you earlier on the beginning of the video. This is that closet upside down. So you see, this is where you put the stuff on the bottom of the closet. Here's the feet that you couldn't see in the dark video. There are the ends that are attached via the plastic dowels. Don't know if you see that plastic dowel at the end of that. But these you can just dig right into the dirt and they stay nice and firm. And then you can pull them up out of the dirt and then you can move it. Move it anywhere you want on this yard and it'll go wherever you decide to take it. So that's the closet that I repurposed. But I repurposed other things. Here's the forager. This is a playera, and the playera, the cloth broke. So I stuck an IKEA bin inside of the playera, and when they're tiny little chicks, you can put them in here and the dog won't get to them. And you can just, move them around. You walk backwards as long as they're in that section right there. They're safe, and you can move slowly because they might want to start pecking and foraging. And you can leave it if they really are digging something cool in the dirt. And I used the mesh that I used to cover that. I also covered the little holes here, and I just sewed it with some wire. And I left the long piece of the wire on the outside, of course, so that they don't get tangled in that. So there's your closet repurposed as a chick playpen for when they're really small. They can't do any digging in the dirt, so that's why I got the forager when they're really tiny, because I just found them like a day old. Like, one of them had just hatched, so it wasn't even a day old. And then I repurposed the chaise lounge that IKEA sells, and I put the towel hanger, or like dish towel hanger or wet clothing rack on top with zip ties. So it went all the way across the chaise, and then I just wrapped it like, I don't know, I just rolled it into the 2-foot wide, 50-foot long, but it wasn't 50 feet, it was a shorter piece because the rest of it is around my yard. But I just wrapped it, rolled it, I just took it and rolled it. After I zip tied the two together in several locations, I just put the chicken wire down and I just rolled it. So it went like this, like a spiral, and it just went all the way to the end. And then on this side, I left it open because the other side is closed, and this side is open, and I just take these little clips off and I put her inside when it's time to go inside. And she loves this place. She doesn't really have an easy time scratching the ground, but when I get to my home, my new home, she'll be able to scratch because I'm going to build a coop. But for now, this is temporary. And of course, there's water in there. I have the dog bowls in there for water. And then the other dog bowls are made out of metal, have her feed. And this is a nice solid base water container, so she can't knock it over because she's quite active. And then this waffle container, and there's the other playera that didn't break. But this waffle container, it's kind of like a waffle shelf. And I made for the smaller one, who's actually, I think, a rooster, the little yellow one, and I made little holes, like I cut out some of these squares so that she would have doors. He would have doors. Thought he was the girl because he's so small. But so he has a little door in between each one of these little compartments. He's got his food over there, And his water, also a dog food and water container, nice and solid base. And the metal one is for his feed. And I anchored down with a couple of chairs that are made out of metal, so they're heavy. And there's a little bit of space in between the ground. But when they're smaller, they could probably try to get out of there. And they might make it because they're small. But now that he's kind of big, he's not going to make it. He doesn't make it underneath there unless he digs a hole. Or unless a predator digs a hole. So these are not for nighttime. This is just a daytime rig. And I'm going to try to get them into a nice coop soon. But they go back into the house. So we're going to go back into the house. And I'm going to show you more IKEA stuff that I repurposed for these chicks. Because literally I found this nest from one day to the next. I didn't have anything for them. No equipment. And I just had a lot of IKEA stuff. So that's what we did. We took all the IKEA stuff and we repurposed it. And so here into the kitchen we go, where the brooder has been. This tub, also from IKEA, was a brooder for the longest time. And I just took the mesh, because you can buy the mesh at Amazon, and I have it on all my screen windows and all my doors. So this mesh is just clipped to the edges. See, all the edges are done. And I used this dog toy of this little birdhouse, and they used to go in there at night when they were both little, before she started to peck him to death. But anyways, so now the little boy sits here at night, and I closed that window so there isn't a draft, but it's a little bit open at night so they can feel the air and it's not moist in here, it's nice and dry. And I put the little plate with some feed, and I put this yogurt tub in here full of water because he's small, he doesn't tip that over, and it's filled to the top so he can get water. And then she's more active. I had a lot of different arrangements in her little house, because her little house had water and she kept knocking it over, or she kept messing with it. And oh gosh, this is longer than the other one. Okay, well this will have to go straight to YouTube then, no Vimeo, because they won't let me. But anyway, so here's the little dish that you can put, this is also from IKEA, that you can put their food in. And then I use the grass from the mowing that I put in the IKEA closet cover. So everything is IKEA, except for the little house, which is a dog toy, I think from Petco, and the yogurt container, and the dog dishes that are outside, and the chicken wire and the mesh. But otherwise, even the clothesline clips are from IKEA. Alright, so there you go. You can have chickens with the help of IKEA.